Alright, what's going on everybody? Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a mastering video. I haven't done any of these before, and honestly, in my time on YouTube, I never really was good at mastering until um, a few months ago I started actually understanding what's going on, so I figured I would start to spread the knowledge a little bit and get you guys a little idea of how to master if you're struggling like I was. Um, the thing with mastering is it's just adding final touches to your mix. There's not a whole bunch of changes going on. As you can see, if I turn on my mastering bus and turn it off, it doesn't sound too much different. I'll just demo it really quick. So here's with it off. And I'll turn it on. And by the way, this song is a new song I'm going to release very soon. So just stay tuned for that. I'm only going to play this section because I don't want to really spoil too much of it. But anyways, yeah, so it doesn't really change too much, but there is a lot going on, as you can see. And so I figured we would just start with the most basic first step here is just some EQ on the master bus. I have a high pass right here at exactly 20 hertz just to tighten up the low end a little bit. Sub frequencies can really build up, and the ones below 20 hertz aren't really even audible to the human ear, so they're not very useful in this mix, at least for metal music. Um, if I just no, you can barely hear that anyways, so I'm just gonna go ahead and loop this. Um, Here I have two little notches here at harsh frequencies that can really fatigue the listener. I'll just solo them really quick. Yeah, no one wants to hear that shit. And I have a little bit of a high shelf right here to add some brightness to the mix. That's it for the EQ. Very broad EQs, or not broad, but like minimal, because if you're having to add a lot of EQ or take away a lot, then there's probably a problem in your mixing. So keep that in mind. Next thing we got here is the master bus compressor. I like using SSL comp. I've been using it for a little while now, and I think that's pretty good. um, for my attack I have 3 milliseconds. It has less clamping on your mix, allows it to breathe more. Same thing with auto release. I think it's either zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.3 milliseconds that a lot of masterers use. Here I have my makeup gain turned all the way down because I want to add that back in with the limiter. I'm not sure if that's really like a orthodox method, but that's what I do. And I have 10 dB for the threshold. So basically, these settings are going to allow it to only apply a 4 dB of gain reduction, so the mix isn't being clamped too much. But the thing is, it's going to lose dynamics, and you want to just really keep in mind that you're going to add subtle glue to your master with this. So I could A/B it. Let me turn everything off here, and I'll turn it back on. You can try to listen just for that very subtle amount of glue to make everything just sound more together. And the reason it got so quiet is because I have this turned down, but if we just ignore the fact that I have 5 dB turned down on it, you can just, and let me just not be lazy with it. Here we go. Just adding that little bit of glue to the mix so everything kind of sounds like it's more pulled together, if that makes sense. Next up here, Slate Digital or Virtual Mix Rack. I really like this thing. There's tons of EQ, compressors, all this type of stuff. But here I'm using a tube analog saturator. I think it's a saturator. Actually, yeah. I have it on the console mode here, push, and I've got it set a little bit low-ish. I'm having it cut off about 28 hertz because when I don't, it sounds like it's a little bit distorting in the low end. So what this basically does is just adds saturation or harmonic excitement to the master. What I noticed is this particular London one, because there are other ones, but It's like in Hollywood, New York. I like this one because it adds like some sort of like a mid range depth, I guess. And thing with my mixes is I usually struggled with getting the mids to stand out. And in the mastering stage, I wouldn't really know how to do that. So this is almost like just like a really cool shortcut to just add that back in. I'll A/B it. Um, Here's with it on. Like you can hear it. It's hard to describe it, but you understand what I'm trying to say here. It's like a harmonic exciter. It just makes it sound better. That's really it. Next up here, SSL channel. Another EQ here. I wanted to add a little bit more boosts. Here I have a very small boost at about 140 hertz for some low end energy. Very small. What is that? 350 hertz. And then really small 9,200 hertz. So I'll A/B this for you. This is with it off. Basically, what my mindset with going into this was just adding a little bit more energy, focusing some areas in the frequency spectrum that I wanted to stand out a little bit more, just to make my mix sound more fuller. Um, Here I got a stereo enhancer. Now I've heard some polarizing things about using stereo enhancers, such as I see some big names in production using them, like I've seen Joey Sturgis and Cameron Mizell obviously use stereo enhancers, but the way that they use them are very subtly, which is the way I have this one that you can see is only adding 10% width. I've also heard people say you shouldn't use them and they're just band-aids on your masters, and what it's going to do is just add phasing to it and make it sound weird. In my opinion, I think if you know how to use them right, just to give it like a very slight boost, you're going to be okay. I think wide mixes are the way to go for sure. And, people could say, well, your mixes should be wide before even hitting the mastering stage. True, but you can only do so much, and then this is going to make it sound even better if you use it correctly. So I'm going to just A/B this, and this is with it off. Now let's see if I turn this all the way up, you'll be able to hear it. That's exactly what they're talking about, so you don't want that going on. Just a little bit of like a left and right push. Here is my limiter. Now, the thing with limiting is you're going to want to reach target LUFS for your master. So usually you want to master at about negative 14 LUFS, and for metal you could go a little bit higher. I think I've seen metal go way higher than that, but basically streaming services are going to turn your mixes down if they're too loud, or up, and you want to just kind of minimize the amount that they're going to be adjusted, if at all. And here I've got the punchy aggressive setting going on. I'm adding 13.5 dBs of gain. The thing is, you want to kind of set it to where it's distorting and then bring it down just before that, and then you can adjust with the output to make sure it's going to stay at 0 dB on your fader, so it's not going to be like clipping or anything. And what this does is just it makes it sound like it's louder than it really is. So I'll turn it off. And then the U-lean here is a loudness analyzer. What this does, it analyzes the LUFS that your mix is hitting. I'm not really sure. I didn't really touch this too much. I'll probably have to adjust this later. But basically what was happening was it was clipping just slightly. it wasn't clipping too much, but I think I might have accidentally messed with it too much. So I'll have to go back and fix this. So sorry about that, but basically, your limiter is going to make sure that you're hitting the LUF goal for streaming services, which is about 13, or no, it's like negative 14 to negative 12. So if you're in between there, then you're gonna be fine. But basically, that's it. That's my mastering chain. It's definitely gonna change a little bit, I feel like, because I'm still new to this, and I'm gonna find new plugins and stuff. But this is just a little explanation of each aspect that you're gonna want to have in your mastering chain. And by no means am I claiming that I'm a mastering engineer or I'm really good at mastering or whatever. As you can see, you probably can tell if you're more better or more experienced than me that this is it's decent, but this is more for the beginners who have no clue what mastering is, and just explains what each thing's gonna do and what you should have in your mix and what you should go for when you're mastering and what mindset to have and goals you should have. But that's gonna finish up the video here. That's just a little bit of an explanation of your mastering chain. You want to have EQ, compression, harmonic saturation. You could do additional or subtractive EQ. Stereo enhancers, optional. Definitely want a limiter and an analyzer here. Unilean is free, so you can go pick that up for free, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's gonna be the rest of the video, and I hope you enjoy.